I'm gonna keep an eye on the stream.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, I guess this is the version that's gonna be going on YouTube then. Welcome to Culture Build, everybody. If it sounds like we're speeding through this intro fast, it's because we already introed this, and now we're trying to get to what we're doing. So this is just a sneak peek into how I like to build my cultures in my fantasy world of Tahnim. I don't think we've actually ever stated the name of the world on stream itself before. So I like to do this process with other people because it allows the creative process to kind of bounce between multiple people instead of one person working on it and getting stuck or kind of getting to a rut. So Colleen, what are we working on today?
We are working on the Shadar-Kai Elves, and they're like Shadowfell elves. They get spooky powers.
Alright, so first thing is we figure out if this is still working.
It is. I've been watching it the whole time. It's fine.
Okay, cool. Awesome, great. So, first things first is we work on one of these. Now, something that always kind of helps out, I feel, is what does a Shadar-Kai elf do on like its daily basis? Like, what is a normal day for a Shadar-Kai elf? Like, no fighting, no nothing like that. Just a normal civilian. Let's see.
Where do they live?
So they would mostly live in the Shadowfell, which is definitely, and as you're aware, is the plane of like shadows basically. It's kind of like the ethereal plane, except mostly shadows instead of that. I'm pretty sure, at least that's what I've always thought it was. And that's actually where shadow dragons come from.
So the ethereal plane is different from the astral plane, right?
Yeah, the ethereal plane is kind of like how like ghosts are, right? Because they're very ethereal. When you go into the ethereal plane,
you can walk through. So it's like the other world,
kind of.
Okay. So does stuff in the Shadowfell like need to like breathe and sleep? Because I know like Shadowmancers from 3, like version 3, didn't need to like eat or breathe or sleep when they hit level 20.
That's a good question. What if like in order to get to that point, like, because like you said, Shadowmancers had to be level 20 before you can get to that point. What if people who are like highly in tune with like shadow magic could do that, but normal people can't? So I guess a good question is, what do those people eat in the Shadowfell?
Does food even grow there? Like, or is it more like an essence kind of a thing? Like, like, do they...
Well, food has to be there in some degree, I would imagine, because like it's where Eder caps are from, which are like maybe more like spider people. Shadow dragons are from there, and they're still mortal, and they still need to eat. So obviously, some sort of magic needs to exist. Not magic, some food. So what if? Oh, okay. I have an idea. I have an idea. Okay, so what if like what if when they grow food, like it's like they grow food like normal, right? But instead of like the normal colors that we're used to, like here on the material plane, right? What if it was like, what if the colors were reversed? Like, they were negative.
Like inverted?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
So, what if so we would do... Oh no, it's normal, like, font.
Calibri?
So that was Gym Knights. So we switch that to...
Oh, I can change the normal font to something fancy too.
Oh, okay. I didn't, yeah, okay. Do it, you know how to do that more than I do. So, you do that. Where was I? So food grown in the Shadowfell is in a... how would I describe that? Food grown in the Shadowfell. Here we go. Has different colors than normal. Colors seem to be
inverted.
Thank you. Seem to be inverted, though they still have the same nutritional value. Okay.
So if the colors are inverted, does that mean that, like, you know how the sun gives plants like photosynthesis? Does that mean like the night, the would would darkness make plants grow?
That's interesting. That's definitely interesting. I like it. Plants in the
That gives me an idea about day-to-day life, like you were talking about. Would they be nocturnal?
Probably. That would make sense. Plants in the Shadowfell require
You've got mail.
I'm gonna put that to vibrate. It was just an email saying like, hey, you could do some more voice acting stuff through this website you signed up on that you never use.
Also, the font I picked is called Shadows into Light.
I noticed that and I love it. All right. Ooh. Meh. Of this. They are very. What's I'm looking for? Because I'm like trying to obviously because they're like nocturnal and they're like they know the shadows very well. Then in my head that means that they would be able to kind of be like be able to be very stealthy at night, like more so than like a normal person.
Yeah. So they have dark vision.
I'm pretty sure. Oh god, this is where. Hey Libby.
What?
Could you be the best girlfriend ever and go grab me my Mordecai's Tome of Foes inside of my bag?
No.
We'll find that. I see how it is.
Liz Libby.
She's gonna be right there. She's my favorite.
You mean this book?
Oh yes, right there. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I just realized the reason I had it over there is because I was taking a picture of the Demigorgons to send to my little sister. Shadar-Kai. Here we go. Do. Ladrin. Oh crap! I forgot about sea elves. That's another one that needs to go on the list to do.
What does this mean? What does he mean by like folkways and mores?
Oh, folkways and mores. Basically what the culture likes and dislikes. Like, as a culture, the things that, like, we value this and we do not like this. Like as an example, like, us as a human society, we value like people telling the truth and like doing what's right, and we dislike people lying and stealing.
Mm.
Like there could be some sort of some society somewhere that's like we don't think stealing is wrong, because if you valued it more, you would take care of it more. Like, kind of like that, right? It's like different cultures value different things. Shadar-Kai, how they have necrotic resistance. They have... Is that it? That can't be it, right? Do all elves have dark vision? I feel like the answer is yes, and I'm being an idiot.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like these guys should. They're from the Shadowfell.
Yeah, exactly.
I
I guess they do. All elves have dark vision. Good to know. I think the Drow are the only ones who get a superior dark vision in regards to elves. Yeah. So they still have dark vision. So they can still see in the dark.
Okay. So
I feel like the word I'm looking for is acute, but I also feel like it's not.
they are very astute. Acute to me is more like might be acute. What's the sentence?
I'm trying to think of like nocturnal in nature, since there's a very bright light. Because of this, they are very basically they're very good at being
They're
stealthy.
highly adept.
Thank you. Highly adept at sneaking around in the dark, even if it is a slight shadow.
So, what kind of language do they have?
They'd probably have some dialect of Elvish. So it probably would be... Alright, so I just want to start the sentence. This dialect of Elvish they use.
Should it sound sort of wispy?
Yeah,
Sort
like it
of
used more
breathy?
breathy and airy, yeah. Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah.
Like, yeah. Like whispering shadows when you're paralyzed because you're like in your bed asleep but not asleep. And there's that thing in the corner of your room that has long spindly arms and it's saying something to you and it's like, hush.
See, this is why every time you talk about stuff like this, I will never step foot into your apartment, Colleen.
That's just sleep paralysis. It happens to everybody once or twice.
I've only happened twice to me, and the first time I was on my stomach, so I didn't see nothing.
Ah, yeah.
The second
First time it happened to me, I was on my stomach too.
Yeah. The second time it happened, I was in a dream, and I had a dream that I was being floated up into an attic, and there was something peering down at me, and I was like, no!
Ooh, that's astral projection. When you float up out of your body, yo, that shit's tight.
No, oh my god, no. I saw a thing staring down at me, and I was like, nope, this is a dream. I need to wake up now.
No, yeah. Someone at work I know frequently gets sleep paralysis, but they get the kind where like they can float up out of their body and like fly around the room and they see shit in the corners and stuff.
Nope. I'd be done now. Back in the body I go.
Ah,
And
man.
if I was when I was raised, if I was one thing is you do not mess with spirits. That is not something you do. I say to the person who messes with spirits all the time.
It's his friend. Oh man, that reminds me.
Mm-hmm.
One of them woke me up the other day.
Oh
Like
God.
I it I heard I heard something say wake and I was like I can't move right now. I
No,
was
I've
gonna
been
pretend I didn't hear anything.
nope. I've been like, hey, Lib, we're moving out of the house now. We're not living here anymore.
It was so scary. It was that. Oh yeah, it was like a whispery kind of like, hey, like I can't tell what this voice sounds like because it's like a whisper and a breath and a voice at once.
Oh no.
Like that language.
Yeah. Well, like the thing of the oh God. We're just gonna make
So
these.
good.
We're gonna make these the cryptid elves, aren't we?
I love it. Make them crypt.
Oh, do you know what? Do you know what they look like, by the way? The Shadar-Kai.
No, Joey.
It's gonna be kind of hard to see. Can you see that?
Spooky boys.
Mm-hmm. Like they have ashen
Boys.
skin.
I love them. They deserve love.
Ashen skin and black hair.
They good. They look like gremlins mixed with elves.
Whenever I think of Gremlins, the funny thing is, the first thing I think of isn't the movie Gremlins. It's actually
Good.
it's actually the little like green things from Looney Tunes.
Ah.
I know it's not this. It's not the super like accurate scary thing.
No,
It's
like whenever I think of a gremlin, I think of like a wretched little thing like a goblin had a baby with like a rat is a gremlin to me. So.
while we were talking, I had an idea.
Mm.
So I don't know if Tara and I have convinced you to read Mistborn yet.
One of my friends gave me a copy of it, so I need to do that eventually.
So in Mistborn, the Mistborn will wear these things, like they're called Mistborn cloaks, and what they are, it's basically like strips of cloth, like made like into like a cloak. So when they're moving through the mist, like in the air at night, it helps them blend in with the mist. So I was thinking, what if we did something like that? Like a lot of their clothing like looks like strips of like cloth that like dangle, and like when they move through the shadow, it kind of like moves in a way, so that way it blends them in easier with the shadows.
Nice. I have a texture that I'm thinking of.
Mm-hmm.
I'll send you. Sure. Did you see? I think I showed you my Halloween costume.
Yeah. Where it was like you had
Yeah,
like
that.
the melty face makeup stuff. Well, not melty, but you know what I mean. Like, whereas like the makeup was like runny, and like it had like
Yeah.
the rips of cloth coming down.
Yeah, the rippy cloth is
Mhm.
like, if that was black, and like more, call it, a little less transparent in some parts. I
Mhm.
feel like that would be a dope as hell thing. Cause rippies, as are about to say. So this was
Yeah. Oh God,
Yeah.
there's like a specific phrase for that kind of cloth.
gauze.
I don't think it's gauze. Oh my God. I know. Right now, we'll just put it down, and if we remember what it is later, we could put it down. Black semi-transparent cloth. Cloth. Um, to blend in with the shadows easier. Black cloth will not move with.
Veil? Is that the word you're thinking of? Veil?
I don't know. I don't do sewing, so I don't know a lot of cloth types. I know
Oh
like
no, veil is more like it's a covering, but it's semi-transparent. It's like what brides wear. People often call the thing between worlds like a veil, like
mm-hmm.
thing between this world and next is the veil.
Shadows and black cloth will move with the wind and mask the wearer to look like shadows.
No. Do they tend to wear like head to toe? Are hoods a common thing?
I would say for like an average civilian, probably not.
Mm-hmm.
But I can definitely see more people who are part of like a vanguard or like a guard would probably wear like hoods to kind of help further like
The
disguise themselves.
shadowiness.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So would this go over armor to obscure like shininess?
Yeah, I would assume so. Yeah. Other pieces of clothing and armor to disguise the guard and other. I don't want to say fighters. What's the word I'm looking for? Other.
Non-civilians.
Would combatants work as well?
Uh,
Why are my lips so
Probably.
red?
Combative people, things, types, yeah. Combatants.
Disguise themselves. All right. Awesome. I'm really liking this so far. All right, what is something that they value? Or something as a culture they're like, we like this. We like this like thing. We like this type of like personality, this way of thinking.
I would say that they value, sort of, it's like I would say they probably value intuition. Um, because a big thing, uh, when I think of like shadows and stuff, there's actually a type of scrying
Mm-hmm.
that has to do specifically with obsidian and like, or a black mirror, or like with a pedestal of obsidian, and you stare into it, and shapes will start to form out of like this shadowy portal, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And from your intuition and from deep within yourself, you connect meaning from what you're seeing
Mm-hmm.
when you stare into this abyss, essentially. And so, from like these shadows that constantly shape in the periphery of their vision, like just knowing like that's a person, or like just knowing like that's safe, that's not safe, like trusting your gut immediately
Mm-hmm.
is probably essential to survival there.
Yeah, probably. So, to a
Helps.
what's the phrase I'm looking for? To Shadar-Kai, intuition is both key to life and survival. I like that scrying thing. So what if we made that like an actual part of their culture? Like
Yeah,
using the shadows, like the shadows themselves as part of like a scrying tool.
I love it.
Ways. One way is how it allows them to scry. This is where we're starting to get into a territory that I do not know. Um,
Llamas take over.
okay.
First and foremost, it's shadows. This form of divination allows the seer to information of past, present, and future from twisting and rive shadows with it from a black mirror, an obsidian or
people can hear Colleen.
Sure.
or or jet
Fucking hats.
jet crystal ball. These shadow seers and tap into unknown knowledge using their intuition, their magic. Sorry, I added the K. I'm used to the K.
Why are you used to the K?
It's a in the 90s witches were like, we don't want to be confused with stage magic, so we're gonna add a K.
Oh my god.
um, um,
Oh god, everything's dying. It's horrible.
Talent.
Oh, I don't know
All
why.
right.
The way you said that made me think of this movie that Libby showed me. What's the name of that movie with the witches and stuff?
Practical
Hocus
Magic?
Pocus?
The Craft?
The Craft.
Nice.
We were watching it on Halloween, right? I'd never seen it before. I don't know, the way you said that, like, in the 90s, we didn't want to be, like, thought, like, stage magic. I was like, I don't know, the way you said that made me think of that movie.
So, the shadows are important to a Shadar-Kai in multiple ways. First and foremost is shadow scrying. This form of divination allows the seer to glean information of the past, present, and future from the twisting and writhing shadows that lay before them. Whether it be from a black mirror, an obsidian portal, or a jet crystal ball, these shadow seers can tap into unknown knowledge using their intuition and their magical talents.
I love it. Awesome. Heck yeah.
Toby! Oh, no! Where did you get that?
What is he doing?
He got a hat.
Well, at least he's not tearing it up, right?
Not yet.
Fair.
Can you get that from him? Oh my god.
Get it, John. You can do it.
What a monster. What a little monster.
What a little gremlin.
Oh. Oh.
Hi, Toby. Hi, Toby Kadashi.
Jesus.
Do you call him by his full name when he's in trouble?
It depends. Sometimes I just slide into you little bastard instead. Gimme.
That his own little cryptid right there.
Sometimes I say Tobias Kadachi even though his name isn't Tobias.
What did John throw at you?
A blanket to
Oh.
try and get the Tobes to lay down, even though he's in full gremlin mode.
Ah, fair enough. No, I like what.
Alright.
Okay, I like how that. I like that. I like that a lot. The shadow scrying thing is neato, and I love it.
Hell yes. Neato and Dito. I'm imagining some of their art being like more abstract than actual like realism.
Mm-hmm. Like, oh, I had an idea, and it's like trying to escape me. I'm trying to keep it there. Oh, my brain. Like, what if excuse me. What if they use? Oh my God. Okay. What if they use like the shadows, right? Like, what if they? What if like artists are also like, you know, magic users, and they know how to like manipulate the shadows to move in a certain patterns, which is like in a very abstract way, like you said, right? They move the shadows, and they move in specific ways to tell a story, but those stories are always different to the person watching, because those people will have more of an intuition and see different things based off of what they need, rather than like one congruent thing.
Oh man, I like. Would they be like shade benders or shadow benders?
Yes.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I was waiting to see your mouth move because I thought that was lag, and then I heard Livy say sorry.
Nope.
Yeah,
Also, is this me, or are my lips like super red right now?
free red.
I wonder why. It's so weird.
Spaniard.
I mean, fair. But I keep looking over. I'm like, they're way more red than normal. So that's weird.
Ooh.
Shadowfell. And learn how to control shadows themselves. They use this control of shadow to make abstract to make no sequences of abstract art to make a story. What makes this form of art interesting is that the viewer will all no is that all viewers there we go that is spelled incorrectly is that all viewers will see something different in the story. This helps. This shows how each Shadar-Kai's intuition helps guide their part of me wants to say perception. I don't think that's the right word I'm looking for. It shows each Shadar-Kai's intuition.
It shows helps guide. No, perception would be right. Like their perception of the world around them.
Yeah.
Well, like, well, helps guide their perception, or
How? Maybe not. How it shows how each Shadar-Kai's intuition. Maybe instead of helps guide, influences.
yeah, influences.
There we go. These visual feelings and thoughts are what allows a Shadar-Kai to live and
to live and react, or live and thrive among the Shadowfell.
yes. Okay. What is something they don't like?
They would not like. just thought of something really, but it not related to what you just asked.
Well, okay, that's fine. What is it? That will we can because we can skip around. We can jump around.
um, so it's about perception, like you said, so like objects on a wall or shadows on a wall look way distorted based on the light source and based on the object it's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
And well, it kind of ties in and if you take the shadow on the wall as absolute truth, then you're ignoring the object that it comes from.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, multiple shadows can have one object if there's multiple light sources. So they wouldn't like people saying this is the one absolute truth. They would be like, no, there's more to the story. It's like that story about there's three blind men. One feels the trunk and says it's a snake. One feels the leg and says it's a tree. And one feels the ear or something and says it's something else.
Mm-hmm.
And they all go away fighting, saying, I'm absolutely right. And none of them say it's an elephant
Mm-hmm.
because they're not working together and putting together the whole truth.
Mm-hmm.
So they would value open-mindedness, and they wouldn't value they would really dislike basically what's the word for that, arrogance, or not arrogance, that's not quite right. It's when it's a mix of closed-mindedness and I'm absolutely right, and
Mm-hmm.
this is my opinion and it is fact.
I thought of something stupid to put down, and I'm gonna put it because I think it's dumb, and I love it. So
I like it. When truth prevails is not a phrase you will hear a Shadar-Kai utter. They believe that there are many truths that make up one situation.
do you know what that sentence is from? That phrase? It's from Case Closed.
Is that like a cop show?
Case Closed was a murder mystery anime. I mean, technically the anime itself is still going on, but it's they don't dub it anymore. They stopped dubbing it in the either late 1990s or the early thousands. It used to be on early on Cartoon Network for Adult Swim. And it's a pretty interesting show. But that's one of the main characters would say, because he was the main detective of the show, and he was like, "One truth prevails," and that was his catchphrase. And I always think of it every once in a while. So my brain was like, "Ha, you could totally throw that in there."
Thank God. Just come here and sit with me.
That's a word in my head. So whatever. Stubbornness and rigid thought prevents one from what's I'm looking for?
Perceiving the whole, or perceiving, or from learning everything one can from a situation.
Yeah, I like it. Situation. Um,
Like the shadows themselves, a Shadar-Kai should be able to do without ever changing. I did.
awesome. Cool, cool. Alright. So another thing that I believe always needs to be done is how do the Shadar-Kai raise their children?
Hmm.
Because that's a very important thing.
Mm.
What is it? What was the thought?
My brain was like, oh, hide and seek would be interesting. Oh god. So I feel like they would raise them with a lot of like spooky stories as sort of cautionary tales.
Mm-hmm.
But like their heroic stories, like their good stories would also be slightly off-putting to someone from the material plane, like,
Mm-hmm.
and then the person did what?
Oh my god, you know what I had a stupid thought. So like what if all stories, right, were like creepy in some way?
Yeah.
Which just made me think of scary stories to tell in the dark. Like specifically the one where the guy sees this gigantic like the gigantic thing coming towards his direction. He gets scared of it, runs away, and at the very end of it, pokes him on the shoulder and says, "Hey, do you know what the time is?"
Oh god. Yeah. Yeah, it would be amazing if all of their stories were like creepy in some way. And it would be especially hilarious if like their monsters were like some of the less creepy things for us.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Like a raccoon.
yeah, like, and then the beast's eyes gleamed in the darkness, a yellowish, greenish gleam, and it sauntered out, and its body was hairy and fat and blobbish, and its eyes were striped like dark, and its body was also striped, but striped like sun. Yeah.
I'm gonna write something down.
Here's standing roared! And it was a trash bin.
I'm gonna write that down. Basically, how exactly you said that.
Oh man, like creatures whose eyes like do that thing in the dark. That's. What are you eating? Yeah, you. It better be kibble. Okay. Well, Dan, you opened your throttle and threw back a bottle. Dog. It's chihuahua. Hell yeah.
Hey Libby, do you like that description? Right there in quotes. Right here.
I can't tell what it is with that font.
It says, "The beast sauntered out from the shadows, its eyes gleaming a sickly green in the torchlight, its body covered in hair. As it raised to its hind legs, it hissed and spat. A Shadar-Kai tale of a fearsome raccoon."
Whereas, like, one of their, like, cute little kids' fairy tales is like, and then the giant spider spindled its way down from the ceiling, and it approached the child with its legs outstretched. And the child said, "Mr. Spider, why, I lost my pacifier." And the spider said, "No, you didn't. I have pride." And it handed the child its pacifier. The end.
Oh my god. I love it.
And then it spun it a new crib made of beautiful spider silk. A new blanket.
How's that?
Alright. Though their scary stories are all about almost. Nice.
I'm gonna do that. So it looks like there's more of a separation between those two things.
Nice. So I would say they'd probably they would definitely have that verbal component of
Mm-hmm.
like telling their kids stories. Um they they would probably I guess it depends on like what their society largely imports or exports, because if they're largely minors, like dwarves, they're gonna raise their kids to be minors. No one's really gonna be that super educated.
Mm-hmm.
But if whenever I think of elves, I always think of intellect.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but that doesn't necessarily have to be the case. Uh, they definitely have a lot of seers, and they definitely have some like artisans because of the shadow
Mm-hmm.
shaping.
I'd probably go into that if I would assume.
So would they have schools like for little kids that they would send them to, or
Um, I imagine probably. Hmm. So I don't know if they'd have like schools necessarily. But I feel like I guess that's technically a school, wouldn't it be then? Because my thought process is like they go when like they wouldn't have like like buildings, they wouldn't have like schools, but they probably have like a few people within like this like within society, like in the city or wherever. Um, and probably have a few people who would teach things, who would teach the children stuff. Which I guess, like I said, I guess technically is a school, but they don't have like buildings. They'd probably teach them like out in the shadows.
okay. So the kids go out to would it be like a designated area every day? It'd be like outdoors.
Probably, but I don't know if it would be in the same exact spot every day. Because if it was in the same spot every day, that would kind of that would show the form of rigidity. That would form like we could be here every day, this specific time, and I don't think, based off of how we've described the Shadar-Kai and how they feel about things, I think they'd probably the place they would meet would change every day, and the time would be different every day, because it would allow the kids to kind of like see multiple things in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps there is a couple times where they go to the same place, but they have to go a different route to get there. That way it shows, even if it's the same spot, it shows it in a different light because you're coming at it at a different angle.
Mm-hmm.
I've already used that phrase, so I need to use a different one.
Mm. Which one?
Like I said, children are taught lessons in the shadows. They do not meet in the same place or time every day. Changing where, when, and how they got there teaches the children to be more. And I almost said fluid. I was like, no, I already changed that. I already used that phrase. Teaches the children to be more flexible, but I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I like that. How it's phrased.
Open-minded?
Yes.
And observant?
I guess open-minded would be the same thing as that sentence I was going to say, so it makes it redundant. What if they had different teachers every day, too?
I think that would be interesting.
So I need to change the sentence. Children are taught... You okay there?
Yeah, there was the...
Though they do not meet in this... Oh, right, you're in California. It's never cold there.
Hmm?
I said, all right, you're in California. It's never cold there.
It's actually been California chilly recently.
But is California chilly the same as Colorado chilly?
God, no. It was a high of 61 today.
Oh my, a high of 61.
But it's going into the 50s later this week.
We had schools closed yesterday because of how cold it was and how slippery the roads were.
No, no, thank you.
What was I saying? Be in the same place or time every day. I don't need to change a sentence to make that putting that up easier. Children are taught lessons out in the shadows. They do not meet in the same place. They do not meet in the same place or time. Nor, here we go. Nor do they have the same teacher every day. Changing who, where, when, and how they got there. Who, where, when, and how. Open-minded and observant. Awesome. I like it. I like it a lot. What? My brain died. I had a thought and it just disappeared forever. Oh well.
A mood.
I think the only thing right now, currently, obviously we might come up with more when we're doing this. The only thing I can think right now we need to do still is the religion. What god/gods do they worship? I would say probably the god of insight.
Is there God of Insight?
Well, no, we're making them up.
Okay. Cool.
So I'd say probably a god of insight.
So, when I was looking at the Gods and Goddesses supplemental, let me pull it up real fast just to make sure I'm misquoted. Boop, boop. It's the slowest score. I'm just gonna drop this mirror. Um, I thought that Hecate had uh, she had potential. She had so much potential to be so interesting because her priestesses and her champions reject dogma.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's like reject the judgment of others because they're just narrow-minded and therefore unimportant. And the service of self, like you and your needs come first always. And um, like religious dogma is a hindrance to an individual's potential and have no place in your thoughts. Morals are subjective. And the only one that was kind of like, was like, it, they harped so much on her being selfish,
Mm-hmm.
and three out of her, actually no, one, two, three, four out of her five tenets are like, actually, you're not wrong. That's just like, you should put yourself first, and you shouldn't care what other people think of you, and like religious dogma is a hindrance to your potential, like if you're not religious, and sometimes even if you are, and like um well, the seek gratification one is kind of like teetering on the edge of,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like she had the potential to be like very morally interesting because she was a goddess that was more about like, you know, you should do you because you. Like it seemed very Aleister Crowley to me, like do what thou wilt.
Mm-hmm.
And then they made it like shitty.
Well, what if we could still take that idea, of that and just put it into a different god, like the where it was expecting to go before they went like, nope, we're putting that there now. We can still
Yeah.
take where it was going and make it a thing. Also, I mean, I kind of want to acknowledge this right here that Bel Chavez says. He said there should always be gods of war and love, makes for easy conflict creation. That's very true. The only thing that worries me is if I make a god of war and a god of love in every single pantheon for each culture. It makes everything too much like the Greek and Roman gods. Where, I mean, there's definitely a place for that. I'm not saying I'll never do that. There is actually a god of love currently. And again, I'm still making all the cultures right now. I've only done probably 6 cultures. I'm not even done with 2 of them. And there is a god of love in one of them, in the Tabaxi. There's actually a god of love in that. So the one thing is I don't want to like kind of overlap too much. Obviously there will be overlap in certain degrees and everything. But I don't know currently if the way we're setting up the Shadar-Kai, if they truly like if they view love and war in that high of regard to make gods out of them.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't think that they would.
Yeah, I know, and it's just like, but again, like you don't have to have a god of love and a god of war to do those things. Like, kind of like to bring our world into example, like, you know, in like I mean, granted, to be fair, I only really know 100% Catholicism too much. But I know in Catholicism there's only one God, but, love is still preached, war still happens, and stuff like that. Like, every culture still can have those things without pushing those up into godhood. Granted, like I said before, those things 100% can be gods in multiple different cultures. It's just that I don't want to kind of shoehorn specific gods in specific places when, like, a culture feels one way and then they suddenly have this god that's just there. But that is very good. That is a very good line of thinking, though. I do agree that putting those there is definitely a great way to help with conflict creation, like you said. It is definitely a way to make us to kind of like round out specific things if you're stuck.
When did I mention love and war?
No. Bel Chavis.
Bel Chavis?
Yeah, in the stream chat.
Oh, I thought you were talking to me this entire time.
No.
I was like, what the hell? I was like, bitch, I didn't say shit. I think Hecate's a goddess of death. Like, I was like,
No, I wasn't.
I was like, I'm not caught up with you.
I was acknowledging what our viewer was saying.
Okay. I was like, oh god. Oh,
It's okay, Colleen. I still love you.
Oh, I was so far behind.
I have a feeling when I go back to watch this, I'm just gonna watch your face, and you're just gonna be like the entire time. No, and it's perfectly fine. Like I said, it's a great line of thinking. Like, if you're making cultures for your world, go for it. Like, if you think that's gonna help you with like creating the culture for that world, or with like for future storylines that you need to do, go for it, man. That's a fantastic way of thinking. I don't want you to feel like I'm putting you down. All I was saying is for this specific culture, I don't know if it would work, but I can definitely see for future cultures we work on later on in the series, or even ones if we go back and like I look through stuff again and I feel like I could change things. That's definitely a way that we can think, for sure. It's definitely a way. So yeah, great ideas. It might not work for Shadar-Kai, but fantastic ideas to bring in the future. So yeah, okay. So if we take the oh god, I don't know how to pronounce that. It's a Roman, or I think it's a Roman god. Hecate,
I think.
Hecate. I don't know how to pronounce that.
That's how I say it.
But point being, we're getting started. I feel like we could definitely take where the idea was going and just morph it into something else. So in the book, it's over there. I can't reach it. But in the book, what does it exactly say she's the god of?
Crossroads and the underworld.
Crossroads and the underworld. So what if we just... I don't know if we would need to do a god of the underworld per se. But... I do like... Okay, so if we do...
She's very popular among witches because she's a triple goddess.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I looked at her tenets, and they just seemed interesting because it was just like, you do you. It like I said, like Crowley's do what thou sort of thing.
So what if we make a god... I feel like I know this will be super stereotypical, but seeing how shadows are so important to them, what if we just make a god of shadows?
Yeah,
Ooh.
that works.
Oh my god, idea. Holy crap, I had an idea. What if the god of insight and the god of shadows were siblings, or at least related in some way?
I like.
Like, they could even be husband and wife. I don't care. God of shadows. I am going to make a thingy.
If they're husband and
Don't
wife,
forget.
then what would their child?
If we decide to go with okay, well we still need a god that they use as like, as a figure for bad things. Um because every culture has some sort of like deity or like a deific type of being that they like this is the bad stuff.
Mm-hmm. What if he was like a sort of like very arrogant, brash, like kind of fiery, almost bright god. Very
He's a
bright.
god of light.
Well, not necessarily
Well, not
light,
like
but
I know.
like
I mean, like
his
like of
appearance
light,
is
but
very
like
shiny,
yeah, exactly.
like
That's
blinding.
that's what I meant. More like instead of like his whole thing is like he shines, and I guess
Yeah, he
his
shines.
domain. If we were doing cleric domains, his domain would be light.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
So what if we do, oh god, I'm just trying to think of like things that bring like shining and like stubbornness into my head at the same time. Like stubbornness, like
I just keep thinking of Zap Brannigan. Like, like, I'm right, I'm bullheaded, this is the way it's gonna be, I cause chaos wherever I go. But I'm a good guy. You are
knocked
trying to me.
So what if we made it like perseverance? I like that. I like that idea, Bel Chavez. I like that idea. I don't know if that's the word I want, but I like where you're headed. I really do. I really like where that thought process is going. Perseverance is just not the word I'm thinking of. Willpower. Yeah, right. Like you're in the same boat as I am. You're like you're grasping at that idea and you're just trying to figure the word that works.
Aggression, um, arrogance, tyranny, uh,
I like the ideas. I like what Bel Chavez is saying, but I like what you're saying too. It's like I'm just trying to think of a word that like melds that all together. Where it's like someone who's like my way is the right way.
ignorance,
Oh, what's that word? There's got to be a word. It has to exist.
um, t- uh,
Narcissism. I mean that's much closer.
what?
He said narcissism. It's much closer. It's not. It doesn't quite.
Yeah.
It's like right there at the line. It's like almost reaching it.
Vanity, egotism,
I like
Yeah.
that word. I like that word. Yeah, I like that word. What do you think?
ego?
Yeah.
Yeah, god of ego.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. I like it. Yes. Okay. The more it sits there, the more I like it. All right. Okay. So I don't think I need this anymore because we kind of already have the head in our head. So we have. So okay, which one should be mother and which one should be father?
Um,
I agree. I agree, Bel Chavez. A nice trifecta.
I think to me, insight seems like the mother, shadow seems like father.
Oh, shit. Now, would the god of Vigo be a son or a daughter?
Son.
All right. So, here we go. So now we need to come up with names. And in my world, Elvish is very, very akin to French. However, I cannot bring up that book because I'm using both screens right now. Ah, ding. Ah, I'll be back. I'm gonna go get my tablet because I can pull up the book on that because it's in that Google Drive. Be right back. Kitty, I woke you up. He was sleeping. I'm a monster.
You are.
A horrible human being for waking up a kitty. Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, everything's awful. I'm pushing things around. Ugh. Ah, crap baskets. Alright, there we go. Okay, so. Do. D&D things. Come on, where are you? There you are. Gary Gygax's Books of Names. Fantastic book, by the way. I know I already told you about this, Colleen. But anybody watching this, there's a book called Gary Gygax's Extraordinary Book of Names. You can get it online. I don't remember how much I paid for it, but it's really easily found. I know for a fact. It has how it's listed. It has a bunch of different like names in like different like languages, like English and Gaelic and Chinese. There's even like ancient Greek, like, and there's medieval versions of all these languages too. So that's what I really like about this book is like I can look at these and go, oh, I like that name. I can like change it up a little bit, or I can just use it the way it is. So if I want French, I need page 86. Or page 88 if I want medieval French. So you know what? Let's look at medieval French. Okay, let's see. So I'm just trying to find something that sounds like wispy and like here's I kind of like that name. I know I just saw it immediately, but I kind of like that. Though to be fair, I think it might be a little too mundane. It's Eustace. Kind of like that, yeah. So what if we kind of bastardize it a little bit? For what do we call it? Yep. Maybe not. I don't know. The more it's sitting there, the more I don't like it. Really? This is all medieval French? These are all like, I don't know. These are all like names I know exist. Though to be fair, English does steal a lot of French, so. Oh, I like that one.
Hmm.
It's Odo.
Odo?
O-D, it's just O-D-O.
Odo, god of...
Do you not like it?
No. I was saying Odo, god of ego.
Yes, I like it. Another. Oh, that's why I was like, I know all these names. It's because it was Norman French. So I was like, oh, there we go. That's why I recognize all those names. Robert. If I do, ooh, okay. Which one do you like? Which I'm gonna let you into suit. Cause I don't like Houston. I don't like Eustace anymore. So I'm gonna let you choose between these two. So there's Arnaud and Albert.
For the father?
Yeah,
Arnaud and Albert?
yeah. So Arnaud is Arnaud, and Albert is Aubert. I am pronouncing that correctly, right?
What?
Person who knows French. You pronounce those the way I'm saying them, right? Arnaud and Albert.
I have no idea.
But you know French.
I took 1 year of French in high school and I've forgotten most of it. I don't think I'm qualified.
I like Arnaud better.
Arnaud? Okay. Yeah. Much better. Yeah, I like that a lot more. Arnaud, Odo. Fuck. Oh my god, that's a fucking name that exists.
What?
I'm gonna type it out. I'm gonna type it out for you. And you're gonna see it and you're like, there's no way. Let's see. Oh, crap. You should probably move your... Oh, no, wait. No, wait. I'm an idiot. So I'm gonna type it out.
Is it Ermagerd?
Basically. That's what I first thought of when I saw it. Ermagerd. Ermagerd goddess of insert. I kind of want to keep it, and I kind of don't at the same time. Ermagerd. Fuck. Oh my god, that's too funny to me.
Alright, you need some oxygen?
We're deciding. I have decided.
I think it, like, staring at, I think it's Ermengarde.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's what it is. That doesn't
Yeah,
stop me from
but
thinking
Ermengarde.
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 Ermengarde. That's fantastic. I love it. I love you, Gary Gygax's Extraordinary Book of Names. All right. So, now to just talk a little bit about these gods. What they look like, and what their... excuse me. And what their alignments are.
Goddess of Insight would be true neutral.
You think?
Mm-hmm. Sometimes insight is very
Fair.
beneficial to you.
Oh, that's very fair. The God of Shadows. I feel like they'd be chaotic neutral.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh my god, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
We have a nice little trifecta going on right there.
Really do.
I like it. All right. So. Why do I keep doing that? Every time I type out shadows, I spell it Shadoes for a second there.
It's eh.
To decipher her husband's shadows in a way that is beneficial to them. Is in turn allowed to survive and even thrive in the Shadowfell. Ermengarde. How does Ermengarde take form, or how do the Shadar-Kai believe she takes form in?
No one is sure because she appears differently to everyone who sees her. She takes form is she insight or intuition?
Let's change that to intuition.
Okay. She's sometimes you just know she's there. You just know she's with you. And she, whether that be like, I can feel her presence very strongly coming from this like lake that I'm looking into right now.
Mm-hmm.
And when I look at my reflection, suddenly I see that it's not me. Or like I look up into the clouds and they're in a shape that is like of a feminine figure. The only thing everyone can agree on is that she's female.
Mm-hmm. Cool. All right. Arnod, God of Shadows. Oh. There we go. Sorry about that, by the way. I'm getting over being sick.
No dying.
Dangerous and in a place that is dangerous and
Unforgiving?
thank you. And that is dangerous and unforgiving. Twisting, chaotic, shadows. Give them a sense of what's I looking for?
Stability?
Yeah, I'm of stability, but I'm also looking for another one. Maybe yeah, like that. Twisting chaotic shadows in a not hypocritical. An oxymoron is also not a good word.
Dichotomy?
In a
Um,
so I'm trying to think like in like a weird
paradigm?
twisted, like a twisted sense, but like not.
Writhing?
No, the word I'm thinking of is like kind of like like basically like this chaotic thing in like a weird way makes it more stable. Like it's chaotic and twisting and like that has no solid form, but it gives them like a solid sense of life.
Tumultuous. Oh, in a, in a ironic?
God of Shadows gave the Shadar-Kai the ability to hide. In a plane that is dangerous and unforgiving, the twisted chaotic shadows, in an ironic way, gives them a sense of stability.
I dig.
Alright, what is the... I guess his form is the shadows themselves.
Yeah, his form would be the shadows themselves, and some people have seen a tall man in the shadows. Like a tall figure, but whenever they approach, he loses his form. Try to hold the baby, please. See? I swaddled baby.
No ways the shadows themselves. Some Shadar-Kai believed to have seen a tall man in complete darkness. What was the last part you said? I'm sorry, I was thinking about that first part of the sentence.
But when they approach his figure, he dissipates as if a trick of the light.
And now we have the sun. Odo, the god of ego.
He's shiny.
Oh no.
Why? Yeah, he gave his gift before asking if anyone else wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
I need to drink some water soon. You feel stubborn and bullheaded.
If you want, we can stop after the religion part.
I think that might be a good idea. I'm starting to get a little headed, so I think I need to go and relax after this. While Odo's gift was unwanted and detrimental, he believed it was important to give and gave it before give and abdu and important to give. I don't want to say and gave it because that just doesn't sound. That doesn't sound grand enough, right? Bestowed it.
And bestowed.
And bestowed like a swaddle baby to up.
There we go. I like that. While Odo's gift was unwanted and detrimental, he believed it was important to give and bestowed it before he ever asked permission. This is why all Shadar-Kai have the ability to feel stubborn and bullheaded. Even if this way of thinking could get them killed.
Oops.
How do you do that?
Oh, sorry. I just highlight the section and then above it there's that little ruler thingy.
Mm-hmm.
And I just move that over and
Huh.
yeah.
Neat. Okay. Let's see how do I say this. No one is sure what she looks like when Odo appears before I don't know why I just like his people in quotations. I think it's funny. When Odo appears before his people, he takes the form of I would say he probably takes the form of a Shadar-Kai in like a glistening armor. Though it may be black, it still glistens with the light.
Yeah. Sort of like how oil is like shiny
Yeah.
when it's in a spill, like a rainbowy glistening.
Shine coming from this armor is Shine coming. I misspelled coming because I'm an idiot. There we go. Shine coming from this armor has a
Iridescent.
Thank you. I had a feeling that was the word, but I wasn't sure. Iridescent. Glisten. That doesn't sound right. I don't know why.
Because you just used glistening in the sentence before that.
Thank you. That is exactly why. The shine coming from his armor has an iridescent glow. I don't know if glow is the right word.
Shimmer.
That's it. While Odo's gifts was unwanted, detrimentally believed it was important to give, and bestowed it before he ever asked permission. This is why all Shadar-Kai have the ability to feel stubborn and bullheaded, even if this way of thinking could get them killed. When Odo appears before his people, he takes the form of a Shadar-Kai in glistening black armor. The shine coming from this armor has an iridescent shimmer. I like it. I like it a lot. The only thing we need to do left, I feel, is add the economics. But, like Colleen said, I think this is a good place to stop right after we're done with religion. We probably can go back and like kind of tweak a couple things up here as well. So we'll come back. We'll probably work on Shadar-Kai again on our next episode. I don't know exactly when we'll do this. I was thinking every other Friday and do like the Friday we're not streaming to kind of like have at least one per week. That's my thought. If we proceed to keep this schedule, that means our next one will be the 22nd of February. But we'll keep everybody posted on our Twitter page with when we're going to be streaming and probably whenever we decide on a more permanent schedule. So I want to thank everybody who watched. I also want to especially thank Bel Chavez for communicating and talking with us in chat, give us some good ideas. So I want to say thanks to that. And I hope everybody has themselves a wonderful night. So, have a good one.
Bye.